Okay, so we are halfway through our whiskeys.
Just over halfway, yeah. We have 2 left, so
Time for a snack break.
probably well deserved.
Yeah. I think we gotta cleanse our palate a little bit before round 2. Right, so what do we have today, David?
Well, on this week's food video, we ate the Peyoung Yakisoba. We hope you all checked that video out. We released that video last Wednesday. On this video, on the drinks video, we usually like to eat snacks, of course, as we're drinking a lot of alcohol. And so, as we unfortunately didn't have a chance to try the regular white box yakisoba, of course we're not going to eat yakisoba with whiskies, but we do have a snack here. This is a senbei, or a rice cracker. Yeah. Came out recently. It says on the packet big size single rice cracker, so it's just one thick big rice cracker. But it's flavoured with the regular Peyoung Yakisoba. If you don't know much about Peyoung, please watch our last food video where we talk about the company. In that video, Alex described the yakisoba box as being just very plain white kind of.
I think it's a very utilitarian.
What was the word you used? Utilitarian.
I think so.
Style. So this is that flavour as a rice cracker.
Yeah, they kind of do the same design with this package too. You can kind of see. That's what the yakisoba box also looks like.
This was 130 yen, which I guess is a little pricey for just one senbei. But yeah, you should have just your traditional Worcester sauce yakisoba taste.
I could eat about 2 of these for the price of one Suntory Red.
It could also have like a nori taste or something like that. As with yakisoba, we often put seaweed flakes or pickled ginger, cabbage. I think this one says it has cabbage in it in the packet.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is interesting. Cabbage is probably the most common vegetable used in yakisoba. It looks like the sauce has been grilled onto the senbei.
It has a very familiar smell to it. Takoyaki, okonomiyaki, you know.
Okay. Sweet.
Old-fashioned.
Sweet Worcester sauce smell. Yeah. Also has pork extract powder. So yakisoba often has pork in it.
Here I go. For a senbei, it's pretty thick, I feel.
Yeah, it actually says on it, on the packet, thick senbei. So they've designed it to be one thick one. Usually senbeis are a bit thinner than this. So. But it's interesting, you can see all the puffed rice at the top. The yakisoba sauce has caramelized or burnt on the hot plate taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
When you cook yakisoba at home, you cook it in a frying pan, so you don't get that caramelized burnt taste. But if you go to a restaurant and they cook it on a hot plate, it kind of caramelizes okonomiyaki.
Yeah.
To me, it has that kind of.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Caramelized
that burned sauce flavor. But a good balance between sweet and tangy.
For me, the aftertaste is more salty than sweet. It starts sweet and goes salty.
Yeah. Good stuff. A little pricey for one.
It is a little expensive, but it's a limited item.
Okay.
If you like that yakisoba taste with a little bit of caramelized saltiness, you'd dig this, I think.
What do you think? 1 to 5.
3.5.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah. That's insane. I enjoy the flavor of it. I enjoy the texture. It's all pretty good. But if there was just something else about it to give it some extra kick,
okay,
I'd probably give it a 4.
I guess it's quite simple. It's really about the sauce, isn't it? The yakisoba sauce.
Yeah.
There's not much going on else with it. So if it had a mayonnaise or a pickled ginger, just a little...
Right, something.
You associate with yakisoba to keep it yakisoba.
Mm-hmm.
we could bump it up. Yeah.
I agree. All right, moving on to part 2 of our whiskey review today. We are now on
Nikka.
Yeah,
Off Suntory onto another company.
That's right. Yeah, finished with Suntory. We're now on Nikka. Do you know anything about Nikka?
I know it has a pretty cool like king logo on the front.
I've always liked their logo. It reminds me of like playing cards, like the king from like a deck of cards.
Yeah. I know it gives my wife ferocious hangovers, so she doesn't go anywhere near it.
Wow, interesting.
I know it comes in like a square bottle for the big one, right? Isn't it?
Similar to this.
But not the stained glass effect. It's
Right,
like the smooth glass.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost looks like a medicine bottle shape. Like, I don't know. Like, I get that
Kind of.
feeling from it
Yeah.
a little bit. It looks more intimidating than the Suntory ones. Scarier a little bit.
It's very interesting. I've always had the opposite feeling about
Really?
Nikka. Like they're less intimidating. Nikka, along with Suntory, is one of the original whiskey makers in Japan, which actually is not that long of a history.
No.
Only like
100 years?
100 years or so.
Mm.
And their history is kind of intertwined a little bit. Officially called Nikka Whisky Distilling Company, founded in Hokkaido in 1934. So it's a slightly younger company than Suntory.
About 10 years younger. 1923, you said? Maybe Suntory was? Something like that.
Suntory was 1890 something.
1890, okay,
Yeah.
really?
That's when they first started importing wines.
Oh, I mean like from when they first released a whiskey.
That was in
20s.
the 30s, I think. The founder, his name is Masataka Taketsuru. He came from a family that had owned a sake brewery since 1733.
Wow.
So his family has a long history of
Alcohol production.
getting crunk. So Masataka Taketsuru, in 1918, he traveled to Scotland to learn the process of distilling Scotch whisky. He studied organic chemistry at the University of Glasgow and malt whisky production at Hazelburn Distillery in Campbelltown near the Mull of Kintyre. Am I saying that right? Kintyre?
Oh, no, it's me. I'm from England. So.
He married a woman from Scotland named Jessie Roberta Cowan, the daughter of a doctor, and the two of them returned to Japan in 1920. So he was in Scotland for 2 years, and he studied.
Learned how to make whiskey,
Yep.
and he found a wife, and he persuaded her to go to Japan.
Studied
For 2 years.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's right. He's pretty good with his time. Comes back to Japan in 1920. 1 year later, in 1921, he is hired by Shinjiru Tori, the founder of Suntory. And he was hired to help work at the new whiskey distillery that Suntory was setting up, which turned out to be the Yamazaki distillery. So Masataka Taketsuru, he had a big hand in helping plan and develop the first distillery in Japan. While working at Suntory, him and Shinjiru Tori, they had a lot of disagreements. For example, Taketsuru, he wanted to build the first distillery up north in Hokkaido because he believed Hokkaido was the area of Japan most similar to Scotland.
Weather, climate.
I suppose so. Shinjiru Tori, he objected to that idea as he thought it was too far away from Honshu.
You provide the drink to
Right.
Tokyo or the big cities.
Yeah,
Also,
so I guess his thinking was he wants to sell this whiskey, in the big cities. Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya, and places like that, which are on the main island.
Taketsuru-san was more of a
Purist.
passion,
Yeah.
from the heart kind of
Yeah.
guy, whereas Mr. Tori is more of a businessman
Yeah, it seems like it.
mentality.
Yeah.
Well, you have to be pretty passionate about whiskey to travel to Scotland in 1920 from Japan.
Jeez. Tell me about it. Okay, and they also disagreed on what type of whiskey to produce. Taketsuru wanted to make a more authentic Scottish style whiskey, while Tori wanted to make something lighter or weaker, something more suitable for the Japanese market.
Oh, again, so also
Yeah.
business minded, so he wants everybody to be able to drink it, not just
Right.
whiskey connoisseurs or hard alcohol drinkers.
So Taketsuru stayed and helped establish Yamazaki Distillery and even served as the distiller's first manager before deciding to quit and create his own distilling company. In 1934, he started Nikka and opened his first distillery called Yoichi in Hokkaido and sold the first Scotch-inspired Nikka whiskey in October of 1940.
So his dream came true. He did set up in Hokkaido.
That's right. It took him a little bit of time, but he got it done.
You kind of leech off the other guy a little bit just to get the money and then say goodbye to the other guy. He
Yeah.
probably had it in his mind, back of his mind the whole time. But it sounds like their target audience is quite different. Like the Nikka guy is going more for the connoisseur whiskey drinker, and Toddy's just trying to make whiskey popular
Like mass market.
for the general public.
Yeah. After Taketsuru's death, Nikka was run by their adoptive son. His name was Takeshi Taketsuru. And he expanded Nikka substantially. And in 1954, Nikka was purchased by Asahi Group Holdings. And they are now based in Tokyo.
Oh, Asahi own them now.
Yep.
Mm.
So Nikka is now a subsidiary of Asahi.
It's just a whiskey brand, isn't it? There's nothing else with Nikka on it, as far as I know. So.
Only whiskey, I think. So again, today we're only talking about their mass market
The low one. Low
budget
level.
whiskeys.
But at some point we will review the high level one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
that's right.
Which probably is closer to the original taste that he envisaged.
Our first one is called the Black Nikka Clear. I've always called it Nikka Black, but everywhere I see online refers to it as Black Nikka.
Yeah.
So I guess for the sake of this video, we'll call it Black Nikka.
Like the Torries one, I've had this before, but only in highball.
Okay.
Like some izakayas or like karaoke places I went to serve Nikka Black highball. Seems to be like about the same price level as the Tories highball, as far as I can tell. But
It's, in my experience, it's often cheaper than Tories.
isn't there like a frozen Nikka Black highball? Like a
Oh,
have you seen that?
I think that's like one of those gimmicky things they do.
Like frozen super dry or something.
Yeah.
Like comes out of like a
Yeah.
tap. Yeah.
It's always served in those like stainless steel.
Yes, that's
I'm
right.
not a fan of those,
Yeah.
so I never
Yeah.
order it.
I've had it, yeah. I'm questioning a highball coming out of like a beer tap. Seems like a bad idea.
But so our two Nikka whiskeys today, they're both in the black line, which was a series of whiskey products started in 1956. This is one of those whiskeys you can find literally anywhere in Japan.
Everywhere, yeah. I see this everywhere, yeah.
It's, if there's a store that doesn't carry it, that would be kind of a shock.
Something I'd buy like if I was a salaryman on business staying in a hotel. I got some little bottle of soda water in my room, just mix it up.
It's like Tories, but cheaper and blander.
So not big expectations for this neat. Makes sense.
Even like the color of it is,
Yeah, even the label looks kind of cheap.
it's the thinnest of all of them up here, right? It's so thin that the glass bottle looks like plastic to me.
Yeah, like even like the print quality of the logo looks kind of cheap
Yeah.
to me. Like it's like something you find in a knockoff store or something.
I've never picked up on that, but you're kind of right. Black Nikka Clear was first introduced in 1997, and it's another blended whiskey. It is 74 proof, or 37% alcohol. It's made from malt and grain, like everything else. This was 314 yen at Family Mart. Black Nikka Clear was introduced to appeal to non-whiskey drinkers. Clear is a peatless whiskey that aims to be more drinkable than others on the market. Recommended served neat, but Nikka also promotes use in highballs. Black Nikka Clear's blend was altered and given an even clearer taste in 2011.
So they dumbed it down even more. Yeah. So this is the taste for the last 10 years. So I have been in Japan 9 years, so I didn't taste the previous one. So yeah.
I don't think I even tried Black Nikka Clear until probably 5 years ago. So.
Okay. I think I had it in a couple of years of coming, so I probably had it in about 2014 first time when I came here. So it's a bit budget, so...
Yeah. So it was introduced as a whiskey for non-whiskey drinkers. And over time it's become more and more and more tailored in that direction.
Okay.
But they recommend drinking it neat.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So it can't be that harsh to
Recommended served neat.
Okay.
But also promoted for highballs.
Okay. I've only had it in highballs before, so yeah.
Alright. So to be fair, I already have my own opinion on this whiskey. Neat. I'm curious to see what you think about it. The online review. The nose is inviting and light, with notes of honey, malt, and sweetness.
Goodbye.
The alcohol scent on this is almost non-existent. I can get the sweet.
I can get the honey again. I can understand that a little.
It's not the same as the kaku
But
or
it's
Tories.
very simple smell.
Yeah, it's the most simple smell so far today. Okay, the palate. The palate is quite rough. As the welcomed sweetness is overwhelmed by the harsh warmth of alcohol. Surprising, given the low ABV. Ooh, that stings my lips.
Yeah, I get the watery thing you're talking about earlier. Like they watered it down. That's what it tastes like to me.
Yeah.
I can almost taste water when I drink it.
There's a very, very, very subtle sweetness to it. If you like the burn, you might like it.
Even then, it might be a bit simple.
A little chalky.
Chalky.
Like the alcohol is evaporating and it's leaving like some chalkiness on your I don't know. Are you getting that?
A little dryness.
Yeah. It tastes like if you took a Tories and you're going to drink it neat. And you thought, I want to take this down a notch. And you add some water, but you add too much water by accident. And you gotta drink it. And you're like, oh, I ruined it.
But you still get harsh alcohol with it.
Yeah.
Strangely.
During Corona season. This has been my go-to whiskey for highballs.
Was it? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Does it work in high?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay. Really.
Yeah, it has a very clean taste.
For me, I would go neat, a pass, highball, maybe.
Personally, I have nothing against this in highball.
Neat.
Neat, there's just nothing to it. The finish is short, warming, and spicy.
The burn is very, for me, short-lived.
Yeah.
Like it goes quite quickly.
Yeah, that's what it says here, short.
Short, yeah. So
I would agree with short. I just have like a chalkiness and that's it.
I feel the alcohol, but I don't taste it.
That's a good way to put it. If you just want to get the job done.
Oh yeah, if you want to get the job done, this is really good. But if you're looking for a whiskey to enjoy the flavour, like with this one, you mentioned like reading a book and enjoying the taste, and
yeah,
just slowly taking it in.
Obviously, for me,
You couldn't do that with this one.
obviously for me, a single malt whiskey is the best for that.
Yeah.
But if we're going budget, this would be the best for that kind of, really slow, savoring the moment kind of drink.
Yeah. Of the 5, the closest one that comes to that would be that one.
I think so
And
too.
then maybe the second one would be that one, I think.
Yeah, this one kind of lives in its own little world over here.
It is. It's very... It's not really a whiskey. Alex, what's the last whiskey we have today?
The last one is the Black Nikka Rich Blend. So again, this one is obviously somehow related to the clear, which we just tried. Before we even read anything,
Sure.
do you have any expectations from this?
I like the label a lot more than the last one. And the colour looks a bit better to me. Again, it's still kind of making the bowl look a little bit plasticky.
Yeah.
But like a lesser version of that one.
Yeah. Honestly, I still think that label looks kind of...
Version.
Yeah.
It says on the front, a rich and well-balanced taste for the casual whiskey enthusiast.
Oh. Right, so this one was the second most expensive. Our rich malt over here was 503 yen. Black Nikka Rich Blend was first sold in 2013. So it is the most recent of all of these from today. It is 80 proof, so 40% alcohol. It's made from malt and grain, like everything else. Nikka's goal was to create something different than Black Nikka Clear. It uses barrel-aged grain whiskey and a malt whiskey with aging in a sherry barrel. The standard rich blend bottle has a much curvier design compared to the previous Nikka Black releases. So obviously all of these are about, the same. They're the small bottles. For the bigger sizes, the rich blend probably has the most unique bottle design. It's actually kind of curvy like this.
Yeah, I've always seen this around, but because I don't have the best impression of Nikka, like not the higher level ones, the low level ones, I just never got it.
Okay, so starting with the nose, orange, perfumey, strong alcohol smell, some strawberries or raspberries, banana.
Fruit.
Yeah,
Some fruits going on in this one.
yeah. Fruity and perfumey.
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 Like a lady's perfume or
I don't know.
men's cologne?
Woo!
Oh, Jesus. Some packs of punch.
That was a surprise attack.
Wow. So the person online said strong alcohol smell. Yeah,
Yes.
They weren't messing around.
I
Yeah.
would give that a double check. It is fruity.
What percentage was this again? Of 40, okay.
40.
So yeah, this is the strongest of all 5, isn't
I
it?
think it matches the Kakubin.
It smells stronger than that to me.
It does. It
Does, doesn't
does.
Yeah.
Just on the nose alone, like Tories would be like watching a movie on like an old CRT TV. Kakubin would be like watching a movie at the movie theater, and this would be watching a movie like in 3D IMAX, like just so much visual like stimulation.
Yeah, like in Clockwork Orange where they're like,
Yeah.
put his eyelids open.
Are you getting any specific fruits?
A little orange.
I'm getting the orange, and I don't get the strawberry, but I kind of get the raspberry and the banana.
I get like shoe polish or something like that. No.
Alright, review over. Let me influence your opinion here. Taste. Surprisingly bitter. Strawberry milkshake. Pink bubblegum. A touch of red pepper.
You might want to repeat the last 2 things that you said. So, pink bubblegum.
A touch of red pepper.
It's so weird when you say that and now I drink it, but I kind of know what you mean. I don't know why. It's either mind manipulation, you putting things into my brain.
I was kind of afraid of
that. But I kind of get what that person is saying. I don't know why. It's bitter. It is bitter.
Alright.
I kind of get the strawberry milkshake thing. I don't know why. It's really weird. I kind of get the pink bubblegum thing as well.
Oh, I totally get the bubblegum.
Don't you? Yeah.
That's weird.
It is, yeah.
It's weird. Red pepper, no.
No. The bubblegum thing, it's got like that bouncing on your taste kind of strawberry something on your tongue.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a really bizarre whiskey.
What is that taste?
Yeah.
It's got like there's something funky going on.
Yeah.
Like tangy or?
Like sweet candy.
Like sweet expired candy.
This one is the most unusual of the ones we've drank today.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the most difficult to explain.
Well, it's definitely a whiskey you can drink neat. Whether you like the flavor or not, regardless, it has something for you to like get out of it neat. The finish. The bubblegum note stays. Also, bitter wood and coffee.
Coffee?
It's so bizarre, dude. I get the bubblegum taste like 100%.
Yeah, I get that too. Yeah.
Like I just ate like a little kid's gumball or something.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
That is weird. How would you compare this to Black Nikka Clear?
It's completely different.
It is. I agree.
It's so much more flavourful than the other one.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
No watering down this at all. It's like full on flavour.
Mm-hmm.
Punchy flavour.
Would you drink this neat?
I'd like this again on the rocks.
Oh yeah.
In a highball would be interesting. I'd like to try this in a highball.
I'm curious.
So, yeah.
I'll give it a pass. As in, and then yes.
Yeah, me too. Yep. I wouldn't drink a lot of it neat. I could sip it like one glass like this. That'd be enough. I'd drink something else. But I'd love to try it in a highball on rocks. Yeah.
Of all the whiskeys we've tried today, which was the most surprising to you?
This one.
Okay.
The red one.
Why is
Because price to taste. It has a very interesting, complex taste, but it's very cheap. And another surprising one was the last one too, because that has such like a strange, unusual taste profile. How about you?
I was probably most surprised at how, after comparing all of these major, whiskeys you can find anywhere, I was most surprised by how good Suntory Koku is neat.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I'd never compared it like back to back before. It's the tastiest of the group by far.
I guess when you compare this kind of whiskey to others, it might bring up your respect for it a little bit.
Yeah,
so.
like today I can totally see how this guy is so dominant. It's like the whiskey like in izakaya.
Should we do our 5 favourites?
Like ranking?
1 to 5.
Ooh, that's tough.
Kaku.
Okay.
1. Red.
Okay. So far I agree with you.
3.
Okay.
This one.
Yeah.
4,
Okay.
5.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
So,
Yeah. I agree.
mm.
I agree.
Even based on price point too.
There's nothing up here that I can't stand today.
There's nothing I hate. No.
There's some that would benefit more from
Mixing.
like highball or
Mixing or
mixing.
something. Yeah.
But
The 2 lower end ones I would recommend mixing with
Yeah.
water at least, or at least ice at the very least. I rarely drink whiskey neat anyway. Even expensive whiskey I drink on the rocks. So But if I were to drink anything neat, it would be certainly this one.
This would be a close second for me.
Well, that's not surprising because, like, whiskey neat is usually the more expensive whiskey. You know, we rarely drink cheap whiskey neat. That's kind of strange. So, yes, it's a really interesting comparison.
Yeah,
so,
that's fun.
The history was very interesting too, I think. Yeah. And next time we're going to try them on the rocks or highballs.
Yeah.
Highballs.
I'm thinking for next time, David, if you want to pick out one Suntory and one Nikka that you'd like to try highball style, and we can duke them out.
This.
Okay.
And this.
Okay. Hell yeah. So next time, for the record, we will be comparing Suntory Red and this is the rich blend Nikka. Head-to-head battle royale.
Okay, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to the latest episode of our drinks series. This is probably going to be the first video in a long series of whiskey and other spirit review videos like gin, shochu, nihonshu.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'd like to get to for video topics.
This is only the low level whiskies, so of course we're going to talk about the higher level whiskies from these brands as well as other brands too.
So I guess you could say there's only going up from here.
Unless we try the cheap cognacs or something.
Maybe Don Quixote makes their whiskey we can try. God knows.
Okay guys, if you have any comments about any of the whiskies you heard about today, or any questions about the history we talked about, we'd certainly like to hear them. Please subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Japan After Dark.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you next time.
See you.